All right, next one. Given everything going on in the news right now with the incident in Minnesota and Albury and everything, I wanted to hit on the concept of presumption of innocence. A couple things. One, why it's important. Two, what would happen if the accused person was presumed guilty, and then three, the dangers of convicting public opinion too early. So why it's important, the presumption of innocence. The idea that you are innocent is rooted in the whole part of our judicial system. If you just try to do a thought experiment, say, okay, well, let's just presume everyone is guilty. The minute anyone made an accusation, that person would be incarcerated, their life upended. You would be swept off the street depending on the accusation, the allegation. And at that point, the power to accuse someone is just through the roof. And the damage you can do with an accusation becomes so enormous that the civilization itself becomes unworkable. So the idea that the presumption of innocence exists is that to bring an accusation against someone, is the cost of it being true is so high that the accuser or the prosecution has to demonstrate to a court that this thing that they're accusing the person of is real. I mean, think about a murder case, for example. If you accuse someone of murder and they were presumed guilty, then they would immediately go to jail. There would be no bail because they're accused of murdering somebody. But they're presumed innocent and the person comes and accuses you of murder, well, okay, there's a procession that goes along with that. You get booked, you get taken down to the county, you get taken down to the police station, they ask you questions, and they start to build a case against you. But the idea that you would not be innocent just because somebody said something about you becomes so important that this is where the idea of public opinion is dangerous. If you've ever sat on a jury before, you'll know that they'll say things like, okay, don't read the newspaper, don't look at videos, don't talk amongst yourselves about the case, because they want 12 unbiased as they can get, people to look at the facts of the case and make a judgment call. And that's where today's world is really strange. I mean, they used to like move cases from one county to another, one state to another, to get unbiased juries because a particular jury pool was tainted. But now with the way video works, everybody sees the video immediately. And then this is what's dangerous, is that the presumption of innocence in people's mind is just gone. And some of it's emotionally charged rhetoric, of course. I mean, that's going to come along with it. But that rhetoric shapes people's opinion. And then the average person just walking around now has been anchored in their mind to say, this is the way the world is. I saw this video, therefore it is this way, without having a full story, a full picture in front of them in order to make a judgment. And that judgment is so enormous in its importance because it's going to literally upend whole families and communities and people's lives, that we as a society have to at least give the people in power the chance. Now, when that power is corrupted, that's a different story. But you have to give them the chance to present the facts, to present. I don't even mean like police officers, for example, or DAs or stuff like that. What I mean is like even just the news media has power. If they present a 30-second clip, that clip is not the full story. You need to get the full story, and this is where it becomes manipulative. As somebody presents you information and they don't tell you where they're coming from, they don't tell you their bias, at that point, you have to, I think you're forced to ask yourself the question, what is this person trying to get me to think? And why are they showing me the information this way? It's a subtle shift, but it has massive implications. So the reason it's important is if you're presumed guilty, society really can't function anymore. The temptation to accuse someone would be so great. If you were mad, if you made an emotional decision and you said, I acted in a fit of rage, this person did this to me. And then all of a sudden, you saw it in the park video, one snippet was a lady was like, I'm going to call and say that you're accosting me. Well, it's on video that she said that, right? But if he wasn't presumed innocent and she had to prove the accosting, or it wasn't on video, this guy is now, he's in a bind, right? But the presumption of innocence gives him this protection that she can't just say whatever and his life be over. and we already hit the idea that what would happen if a person was presumed guilty. And then the dangers of convicting too early is just that if you start to go down the road that you see a little bit of evidence and that guy's for sure, or that lady's for sure guilty for whatever reason. I've sat on a few juries. I've sat on murder trials. The way that trials are presented to public view versus what's actually available to consume as evidence is so different. It's so different that sometimes police departments are under certain restrictions on what they can share, what they can't share because of ongoing investigations. You just can't see something and say, take the bait and say, this is the way the world is and this is what we ought to change. You have to take a more methodical approach. It doesn't mean you can't do it quickly. It doesn't mean you can't move swiftly. I mean, that's the whole point. A jury by trial swiftly. Even that's been changed a bit, but that's the concept. So let me know what you think. Drop me a note below. Talk to you guys later.